So, it seems that this video does not want to be finished, either because other occupations keep me from filming it or because the technical equipment is on strike, again, just like right now. But I refuse to admit defeat, so let's go slideshow. I have attached the top of the dress to the skirt. First of all, I have to point out that I did not forget any darts, as somebody commenting to my video told me. That would be making seams that take away V-shaped pieces of fabric in the front part of the bodice, as far as I can understand it. As you can see, however, in most pictures of the dress I'm using as a model for mine, the front is clearly folded and not darted. I intentionally made the lower hem of the bodice a bit wider so I could add folds when attaching it to the front part of the skirt, as you can see here, and once more in close-up, so there's no need for any darting when you have the folds in already. The folds are not very big, as you can see. If I had the build of Jennifer Ely, I would have needed more volume there, but as it is, I'm rather flat, and having much space to fill when there's nothing to fill it with is somewhat redundant in my opinion. You can see here that I wrapped the lower end of the bodice in and then attached it to the skirt from the outside. Also, I made sure that the two seams on the side of the bodice underneath the holes for the sleeves and those on the side of the skirt run into one another. It looks more even that way, at least. That's what I think. In this picture you can also see that the seam allowance is somewhat sticking out. Therefore I folded a ribbon-shaped piece of leftover fabric around the seam allowance, attached it, as you can see here, and then made another seam connecting it with the dress so that it stays where it should be. Now for the closure. As you can see in this drawing I made, there are several folds in the skirt pointing towards the closure and sort of hiding the slit underneath it. Yet there are two additional folds at the side pointing into the opposite direction. I folded the fabric similar to the dress in the picture, as you can see here. There are some dresses of that era that have more volume in the back, but I have to say that I prefer it this way. In order to hide the slit in the skirt when closing the buttons, I spared 2 centimeters of the right side of the closure, where the buttonholes will go. When the dress is buttoned up, this side will go over the other one and therefore hide the slit underneath the folds, as you can see here. If you directly compare the pictures I made with the drawings of Lizzie's dress, you can see what I was trying to achieve. At least, I hope you do. To cover the white part that you can see shining through the rather transparent fabric of the complicated seam, I decided to take a long piece of leftover fabric from the dress, one with the embroidered line of flowers on it, to cover the seams with, like a ribbon would, for example. I personally think it looks quite nice and balances out the vertical lines of embroidery on the skirt and bodice, but that is only how I see it. Feel free to disagree with me on this matter. I have also started with the hem after finding that my measurements for the length of the skirt were more than just generous, and because I did not want to cut through my handmade seams, I decided to wrap in the fabric twice and just attach it, which I have to say looks really nice and makes the skirt fall in a way I would have wanted it to do anyway. The next thing to come will be buttons, buttonholes, and eventually sleeves, and then we will be pretty much done with the dress.